Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to an outdoor rainy trail mix. My name's Brendan. Let's just go around really quick and get attendance. Can you do that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Samantha's gonna get attendance. She'll remember it all. And then we have a special guest we're pretty excited to announce here. So why don't you start? We'll go around this way. Go ahead, Samantha. So Brendan, chair.
Samantha Derbyshire, vice chair.
Kathy Grossman, secretary.
Welcome to your.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
say that again. Hey, thank you.
Cody, I'm glad you're here.
Brian Murdoch, the last person standing in the recreation.
Oh my God.
And doing toilets and doing all sorts.
Oh, Brian.
Charles Puffer, Mud City Council. State Park, Utah Raptors State Park.
Nikki Smith, I'm representing the Raptors person today.
Fair enough. Zero line management.
Billy Donovan, zero.
Can we go back to that?
Matthew Holden, Jeff for the Bill Run.
Trail runners. Okay, be as loud as you can, you guys. Really great.
The rain's kind of loud.
Yeah.
David Glover, biking rep. Dave Wilson, at large, River.
Tim Rao at large.
Kim Song. Now, at large.
Joy Danley, PCAP. Normally Lesnar, active conservation.
Yeah.
Exercise the operations supervisor. Yeah.
I was long consulting for Kaya.
Wait a minute. I know she's only here for a little bit. That's good. We're happy to have you.
Dave Taylor, representative of Silver Shell.
Thank you.
Jennifer Jones, zero line management.
And
Hi, Maryfield hiking rep and Arthur Maryfield Wojciechowski.
I can only be too loud.
He's our new trail mix snapshot.
Speaking of, we have just been thinking about you guys so much, and so there was an idea. I think it was Colin, so that came. So we didn't know what to do for you, but we knew that he was going to be a little shredder. So Colin is there's something back there you got to bring behind you.
Oh,
This
no.
in the. It was wrapped in windshield blocker, so you couldn't tell what it is.
No.
But it's pretty exciting. I think they may have been attached to some of these emails.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Oh, buddy.
Got a little wild.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Joy, can you get a picture? Get a picture of these.
Oh, buddy, look at it. He's so
Oh, yeah. That's the fastest color.
Oh.
So we, yeah, David at the Cycler got this to us at cost, and almost everybody here donated for it. So we just really missed you, and we're so happy you're back, and that everything's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's give these two round of applause and being here. And back. Well, that was the funnest start. That's why I came.
Yeah.
So, I don't care about anything else. That was.
And Luke said hi too. He couldn't get away from work, but.
Hi, Luke. Hey, Luke. Great. And we have, I think it looks like Kevin. Can you hear us?
I can. Nice to see you all.
Okay, good. Can you see us okay?
Yep, I'm over here in the UK.
Oh,
7 hours different.
Can you
So,
hear?
awesome.
Can you hear?
It's dark here and cold.
Wow.
And I miss Moab, and I'm excited to be attending the meeting virtually. Thank you for having me.
Can you hear us? Can you find out if you can?
Kevin, can you hear us okay? Kevin, we lost you. He's in the UK, so maybe he hasn't
I lost you there for a minute. Sorry.
Oh, Kevin, can you hear us okay?
It's great. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. And then I have a thing, it's all the way up, sorry. And then I have a thing that says Makeda's note taker. Is that just an AI thing, or is Makeda, are you on? Okay, so I think we might just have Kevin online. Great. Well, let's start with, well, now everything's boring compared to that. Compared to Arthur. Let's start with approval of minutes. I sent those out a few times. I'll take a motion for someone to approve the minutes in a second.
What was the date of the minutes?
It was
September 9th.
9th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 9th, 2020.
Second?
We'll second that.
Okay, second. And then, everybody good with the minutes? Raise your hand. Anyone not? Okay, great. Minutes approved. Citizens to be heard. Is there anyone here that would like to share something with the whole group? I have something from the citizen, but I don't know if any of you want to share something. with
I
us.
have something.
Yeah, Kathy.
I heard from several older lady friends of mine who told me they don't walk on the parkway anymore because of e-bikes. I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but they reported that to me, and I said, well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
This was young men on e-bikes.
So probably
The motor,
e-motos.
yeah, I bet it's are on.
They didn't, I couldn't get much more information.
Are on hooligans.
They just said that they just don't feel like walking along the parkway anymore. And I don't know what, I didn't have an answer for them. I just said I would share that. I was sad.
Yeah, I'll pass that along. If you ever get comments like that, please try to differentiate with the commenter between e-bikes and e-motos, because that really helps us.
I'm not sure they would have known.
Yeah.
E-motos are more and more- yeah.
Okay. But that's something I should be able to, maybe I could describe them to them, so I need to hear that.
Yeah, and I know that the police department is trying to be more, just present along the parkway. And that's. the reason
That's good.
that e-motos-
And then there was a comment written about just the safety, feeling safe on the pathway. Just requesting for police to bike or walk the pathway, especially near the bridge, behind or next to the skills park. So I don't know if you could pass that along, but it is sad in our little town when folks are not feeling safe for e-bikes or because of crime. I guess that was kind of the main thing is just not feeling safe there. So
Can you pass that email to me?
sure.
There's the bridge next to the Skills Park. The one that goes to sand, and this.
No, the skills park full of sand. The Robin Brook, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, behind Woody's.
Behind Woody's, behind the diner.
The homeless have hung out there for years, and I mean, I've been here 4.5. Since my first day here, they've been hanging out there.
Yeah,
Never had any issues with them.
until
They're
recent.
kinda gross,
Yeah,
'cause they leave a lot of trash, smoke a lot, and all that stuff. And it's very- I've never had any incidents.
yeah. Well, there has been, obviously, seen the news, there has been recently, so, but that's good that you haven't. Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Kathy. Please pass along just any other information, just let us know. We want people to feel safe here in Moab, so. All right, any other citizens to be heard? Anything else y'all want to talk about before we dig into a few discussion items? Okay.
I'm not an open citizen, but this will be my last meeting
Boo.
with TCAT, as with Trail Mix, as my last day at the county on the 24th. So so I'm switching over. I accepted a full-time position at the Land Trust. So I will still be like working in a community advocacy role and still working with lots of people, but I just will not be in my county role after October. So
You didn't want the Christmas lighting job?
no, I thought about it. It was a really hard path up. But yeah, so that I'm not gonna like take out a GCATS update for that, but there's my personal update. And I will still try and attend as many Trail Mix meetings as I can and help as much as I can because I love you all and I love this community, and that's my update. Okay.
Joy, your name is Joy, but this does not give us joy. Thank you for that update. We wish that this was not the case because we're starting to start talking about spring spruce up. And I don't know how we're gonna do it without you, so we'll figure that out, I guess. I have here on my in front of me that Kevin, you have your hand raised. Can you hear us? Do you want to make? Is there a comment you want to make?
I do want to make a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Great. Just speak up as loud as you can.
Okay. With regard to the comment on e-bikes on trails and sidewalks around Moab, I think it's very difficult to distinguish them as of late. But in particular, if observers can notice whether people are pedaling when they encounter these e-bikes or whether their feet are stationary, that could be helpful. But moreover, if these people are local young men, as they tend to be, they are both approachable and guidable. And in the past, I have approached them and guided them towards more appropriate behavior. And I believe that, we're mentoring people around town, right? Like, we can't really do a lot for folks coming from out of town in and of ourselves personally. But for these folks from out of town, or for folks in town, there's a lot of accountability. We know them. We know their parents. We know their community. And talking to them, even if you don't create that recognition, is meaningful to them because they know they live in a small town. So go ahead and approach them and say, hey, don't do that. And I would encourage everybody there to do that when you see them, especially stopped at the Maverick or wherever. Like, hey, I heard blah, blah, blah. They'll change their behavior. Okay, that's it on that. I appreciate everybody's interest in the community and support for the village. On another topic, unrelated but necessary, it's fall, and maybe a year or so ago, I brought to this committee the idea that Moab needed certain style of trails, certain kind of trail that would keep locals from going to Green River and beyond to go ride that kind of trail. And it's a trail called a jump trail. It's got jumps in it, and the high school kids want it, and the out-of-towners want it, and it's that time of year again when it's time to kind of put that thing in the hopper so that when we're going for grants and such, that is the kind of thing that keeps people here, that makes Moab a destination where a lot of different kinds of people and locals want to be, because we have all of it and we have the best of it. And it's pretty easy to accomplish. It wouldn't take much. On the other hand, it would take a lot, but you know what I mean? It should be on the books for 2026 grants and such. And I'm here to say that again. And I appreciate everything everybody's done. And I know we've investigated some opportunities, and there are some opportunities on the table that have been investigated. And I say, let's go for something.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. That's great. I know we've chatted about it more and more. We have phase 2 Mud Springs that will have a few more spicy lines. I don't know exactly I would call it a jump trail, but it's getting closer to what you're asking for. But I think it's a great request for sure. Awesome. Okay, anyone else before we move on to action and discussion items?
I would second that. Just what Kevin says, that there is a lot of requests for that from the community members that I talked to. Some sort of advanced progression jump line and then trails.
Awesome. Tyson, how has this been a big request that your team has received? I know we've talked about it a few times here.
Yeah, we keep hearing about it.
Okay.
It's in the works, it's in the planning. It comes at a time where we have about 3 years worth of trail building to do. It comes at a time when we have 3 new downhill trails out of the brands going to be built for the next couple of years. It comes at a time when we've been designing Mud Springs for 3 years. It's going to have jump trails. We already have berms out there. We have some jumps out there. I think it's great. I think it's something we need closer to town. It's just, I mean, over the last year, it's been really like pushed hard. But I want to reiterate, like, we are doing a lot right now.
Totally.
And we are gonna put it into the hopper and see what comes out. We're hoping next spring to be doing design work on Pine Creek area. So we're hoping to add something in there for this.
Cool.
But, you know, maybe we have a lot in the hopper.
So Kevin, let's keep talking about it, and obviously won't give up on that. And it sounds like we'll get something done. It just may not be within the next year or so. But thank you. It's great. Okay. By the way, Samantha, come on. You outdone yourself. Let's just hear it for Samantha, everybody. Well, I know you're in the UK, but you're missing these amazing pumpkin. I don't know what you'd call them.
Cupcakes.
Fancy pumpkin cupcakes that you're missing here. So, thank you, Samantha. That's impressive. Okay, there's a request for me to send out the link to the open meetings training discussion. Did anyone complete? I know Emily, I got Emily's certificate that she completed. Did anyone else complete it?
Oh, I've had it done. I'll send it to you.
Way to go, way to go. We just are asked to get those from voting members. So thank you for the reminder on there. And I'll just keep that on the agenda until we get them all from everybody. So
And I think that you can just add the link every
each time,
Those things are hard to find.
I'll just put it right on the agenda each time. Then we can just follow it. That was a great suggestion.
It literally takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like it's a 5 or 10 minute thing, and it just is some good reminders that I don't know what I'm doing. Essentially, is what it's reminding me of doing. So, okay, our bylaws were passed, and there was a recommendation potentially to add the roads department. And so, would you mind introducing yourself and talk about how you're integrated with trails?
Yeah, so I'm Cody McKinney. I'm the new road supervisor. Trying this on, I just hope that we can, I think this planning and everything happens with trails. Maybe we can, I know there was a discussion about, I think, some of the construction standards in the, I guess the Grand County construction standard booklet. So I hope it was, as contractors come in or anything, there's a little more like ready to go action instead of always having to hit planning so hard.
That's great. Well, I know you've been.
So yeah, I'm mostly just here as hopefully a helper.
You've been huge with the master plans, the trails master plans. So thank you for your help in that. And anytime you want to come to Trailworks, we'd love to have it.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. I want to get you my email.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, please, before you leave, we'll make sure we get you added.
Cody also deserves a big thank you for all the care and maintenance of the bike pathways once it leaves the city. So north of town, these guys have been so on it.
Let's give a shout out for Cody then.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I feel like every time it rains, there's some more work for you out there to
Oh,
do.
so much more. Yeah.
It's kind of weird to have October monsoons instead of, August monsoons.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. But bylaws did pass, and they want us to be included with, or to be including roads department, which is great. So Cody, if there's any other emails you want us to add, just let us know for any updates. Thanks for being here. Katie was not able to be here, but the master plan still continues. I know I've got several comments asking and pleading for the Spanish Valley Trail. Lots of folks that want to commute into Moab for the Spanish Valley Trail. So I know that's a big topic. Jacques was not able to be here along with Maddie. But Colin, do you know any updates on
what?
Cody, do you know
Wait,
or maybe
anything about?
Cody,
It's
Colin,
still in the
Spanish Trail.
process that.
Pig Trail?
It's,
go down to road club, and I know.
from the Arroyo crossing down, it's in the works.
They recently finished all agreements with landowners. And apparently the last meeting here,
Master plan meeting.
yeah, this is what Katie told me, that they were essentially cutting checks like the next day or something. So all of that is sorted. So now they're moving into the next phase. The land has been acquired.
Oh, for
And they're
real?
even gonna try to move the bottle wall back a little and salvage it.
Wow.
Bottle wall. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if we can get any updates on that, so we can send people on dates and things, that's really exciting. I hope that really goes. And then I'll just keep pushing to get down to San Juan so I can bike in and not feel like I'm taking a gamble on my life of that, especially on the one blind hill. You guys know what I'm talking about? Climbing that. Awesome. Mud Springs. I still have volunteer dates and discussion. I know a lot of this is down to like private groups, but I want to turn it over to Tyson to chat about Mud Springs.
Yeah, so, Mud Springs is moving right along.
How many is it?
I haven't been out, actually, I've been wanting to monitor rain events and then how long it takes to dry. I know the little wash crossing at the beginning takes a few days, which we're kind of grateful to have this nasty little wash crossing right at the beginning that'll hopefully deter people from riding it when it's muddy. That being said, Dirt Tech is done with all their machine building, for phase one. So they built about 6 miles, I think.
Did they finish earlier?
Our hand-built segment is pretty much done. We have a volunteer day with Synergy out there on Thursday to kind of hopefully finish that up, widen some of the narrower spots. But pretty much the climb, perimeter, South Cauldron, and Cauldron to Trilla, those are kind of the two main loops that are in phase one are done. We have a series of other trails in phase one, Cauldron North and Cauldron Ridges, that are all hand-built. They will not be done this fall. Evan and I are discussing which was starting on Cauldron North, but kind of starting it in a hidden area where people won't try to search it out. But it's basically November already, so we're quickly coming up on that. So we might move to maintenance and Falcon Climb sooner than later. So volunteer days for Mud Springs are kind of on hold until Evan and I dial back in. We're definitely this week and next week not doing volunteer days.
You're not doing Saturday?
No, we canceled that one, moved it to this past one. Most of our team is not available this coming week, so we just can't do it. So thanks for the rain, we didn't get that one out. So Dirt Tech's done. They're supposed to be wrapping up this week, but they haven't really been able to be out there because of the rain. So I'm not sure if that's pushing their end time back or how they're gonna work it. I haven't talked to them yet, but they're pretty much done. So that's pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
About a month ahead of schedule. We'll see once it's designed who gets the contract. We would love to have them back. They've been awesome to work with, super professional, really good quality trail leaders and business people. So yeah, it's been great. So,
Tyson, what's the latest thought on opening, self-opening?
yeah, it's still to be determined.
Okay.
So we need to get out there and put in all the trail and road junction infrastructure and temporary signs. At least the trail infrastructure, because there's a few spots where we just want something at some of the road crossings before we take down fencing and that sort of stuff. But that will be in the plan for the next week or two. Our crew will be doing a lot of that work. So yeah. UDOT and San Juan County Roads Department have been out there a bunch. UDOT's already done a number of surveys in regards to the safety concerns of the turnoff into Yellow Circle Road. So we've been really grateful for that. Commissioner Laurie and Bill Winfield were out there with San Juan Roads and UDOT a couple of weeks ago. So it was awesome to see that collaboration happening. And then UDOT's been out there multiple times since. So they were really working on figuring out either how to get road access to one of the other turn lanes or within about 1.5 miles of that turn. Or if they're gonna put in a turn lane, I think the goal for now is to get one of the turn lanes to one of those other roads as soon as we can for safety. So they're actively working on that and super grateful for all the work that San Juan and UDOT's doing on that.
You guys are great volunteer groups.
Huge thanks to Red Devil, the Red Devil race team. There was like 40.
Yeah.
I felt really bad that I didn't make it out. We had 4 people to wrangle 40 people in normal NICA style. They always show up with at least 30 more than you expect. So it was awesome. They got a ton done. The crew had a good time with them now.
Is that really what Fred said?
Yeah.
I love that.
More on volunteers. Volunteers have contributed. I'm just giving my full report at this point. Volunteers have contributed over 1,500 hours this year. Most of that has been this fall. So a huge thank you to that. That's a big number. We always kind of strive to reach, and we're going to go over it. Open work days have stopped for now because we're working with a number of volunteer groups. So if we do start working on Cauldron North and or switch over to Falcon Climb, we'll probably do more open call days for volunteers, late October into November. Currently working with Campbell Hall. They're the Hollywood kids. They come out every year for like ever 15 years or something like that. So they're out on Jackson's today doing some rut work and trimming some vegetation out there. Do you want me to stop there? Or should I just do my full report?
Why don't you just do for it? That's fine. You're already in it. Let's do it. Yeah, it's good.
So in addition to all of that, we also had a booth at an Outer Bike. That went really well. Talked to a ton of people. Was really grateful that we were out there Saturday morning about 4 a.m. There was like a flash flood torrential downpour that hit just the Brands. And washed, like all the trails looked like they had washes down them. So it was a lot of rain, a lot of big long not mud puddles, just water puddles that form when we have events like that out there. So we had myself and another person were out there, so I was able to go hack out a lot of those big water holes before people could ride off trail around them. And it was right on edge for maybe delaying it, but it all turned out all right. It holds up pretty well out there to water, other than some of the muddy washes. But it was really good. Talked to a ton of people. A lot of questions about e-bikes and if they're open and if not. And so, we kind of just worked our way through all that. But people were stoked to be out there and hearing about all the new trail stuff that's coming in. Maddie is most of the way through budget season. Thankfully, it's been pretty rough, but we're so grateful we have her for our department. She does a lot this time of year. And go listen to the Back from Beyond podcast, Search and Rescue.
Yeah.
And KCMU, it's amazing. We need more stuff like that.
And go Rich. They just put out a little blip with the last stream that just said we want to do another season, but we need some funding. So one thing that helps a lot is if all of you just go and give it a rating and a comment on it. So I went and did that last night. It's like one of the best podcasts I've listened to. So well done. Really good.
And folks, mark your calendars for November 14th. That'll be GCAT Volunteer Appreciation. So that's, even though I will be on the ground, I hope you all party and have an extra beverage in my honor and all of these volunteers' honors.
Can you give us the date again?
November 14th. It'll be at Dewey's again.
Awesome.
And I believe it is from 6 to 9.
Okay. And we'll be happy to help with whatever we can, I guess, since you're not going to be there for it.
Doing as much as I can these next 2 weeks to get everything so I can just hand it off. Yeah, and I just got done guiding for 8 days with a group of women from Iowa, and they came and helped finish the connector on Bud Springs, and a couple of them said it was their favorite day. of the entire trip out of like off-roading and canyoneering and hiking and whatnot. So they all got to swing Picmatics and have a good time. So anyways, that's my only tidbit to add to Pleasant.
Awesome. Okay, really exciting things happening with Mud Springs. You'll let us know. And so soft opening, we would love to have at least everybody here. Maddie, I know chatting with Maddie, as soon as things dry out and we could get a few signs up there, we at least want to have the crew here go and pedal through there and check out our newest trail, which is really exciting. Next on the discussion item, this is just very brief. We don't have a ton of information on it, but the county would like to get ahead of having some negative things happening with e-bikes. And so we'd like to get out, the county would like to get out a responsible e-bike message. So like, this is what class ones are. This is where it's appropriate to have them. And this is, which I think is a really great idea. And so they have a PR firm that they work with right now called something. I was hoping that one of you would know.
Where is this coming from?
From the county. The county hired has worked. Yes, the county commission. Was it? No, but if you said it, anyway.
There's Melissa, who's the PIO officer.
Yeah, there's a firm they actually hired for it. That anyway, they may be in touch with us, and they want to get out the right message about e-bikes and to kind of get ahead of things. Maybe the firm. But anyway, so more to come on that. I put on the agenda, the discussion items in case they were here and want to chat about it. But be thinking about things you would like to get across to visitors before we open it officially on March 1st. I'm sure BLM will be chatting more about that. Okay, that's all the things we had on our list for discussion items. Tyson, anything else for GCAT? Covered it all?
Maddie and Anna are up at the Outdoor Rec Summit, Northern Utah right now.
Yacht's there too, so that's what he's at.
So that's why they're not here.
Okay.
Ambassador program still working its way out of the county into its nonprofit world. They have a office now over at the Free Health Clinic building. That's as much info as I'll give them next. That's all I know.
Thank you so much. Thanks for GCAT to all their work. They're amazing. Okay, BLM or who is in, I guess when it comes to any of these government positions, whoever's still here. But you're here, Carrie.
Yeah, there's all of us that are continuing to work for administrative priorities. Yeah, thanks to GCAT for all their work on Mud Springs. It's super exciting and glad that it's near completion and ready for people to be ready. This Friday, a handful of us from the BLM that'll go out. Priority to mark the trailhead out, put in post the cable and the parkings.
Friday, you're planning on doing that?
And that's our plan right now.
Great.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, so you all saw the e-bike environmental assessment came out, and yes, all trails will be authorized for class 1 e-bike use on March 1st.
It probably would have been good to have the date on the first announcement and
Yes,
so many comments on that.
It was an unfortunate state office edit that was out of our hands. So it was unfortunate that it came out without the date on it. But the intention behind March 1st was to give us just a little bit of time to coordinate with everyone and hopefully get some messaging out, signs and whatnot. That's right now. I think our priorities are working through our infrastructure and making sure rooms and campgrounds keep clean and tended to. Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
It's all changing every hour, every day. Who knows what's going on? So
Well, glad you're here.
that's what we're doing. We're glad to be here, and I think starting next week, at least as of last hour, we're going to be dropping down to even less of being here. So 2 days maximum per rec staff member, and just bare minimum. So just roll with it. That's what we're doing. Thank you all for all you do.
Yeah, thanks for rolling with it.
Lots of exciting stuff. So I guess maybe if I could, I'll throw
Yeah,
one
go
more
ahead.
bit.
Go ahead.
To compliment UDOT
We, October 6th, I think it was, got the contract information reviewed and whatnot for the paved pathway connection, the 0.7 miles along 128. So that's gonna go out, I don't have it in front of me, but it's somewhere right around like December 20th that the bid opens up for construction. And then in theory, all things willing, it'll be done by August 2026. So that is still moving along 20 years in the making.
Yeah, wow. And they'll extend it like the current one is, like they'll have to do infrastructure.
It's gonna be the connection, and
Yeah.
initially it was gonna be over 15 million because it was mostly bridge. Now they've figured out some cost savings such that it's not going to be mostly bridge. But same look and feel with the railing and connection that hopefully people that aren't us won't even see a difference. And we'll be like, oh, this has always been here. So, but the Mud Spring stuff is super exciting. Thanks for everybody's support and moving forward on all that stuff. And, you know, someday we'll go back to whatever normal is, because I think this is normal now, and we're all still gonna be doing great things here together. So thank you.
So the paved path connection, is that from, bottom of 45?
Correct. Yeah, that 0.7 miles or 0.67 miles. Yeah. Right. It's been a long time coming. And I'll believe it when it's done, but August 2026.
Whoa, that's exciting. Thanks for that. Anything else for BLM? Okay.
So I guess I could throw one other
Yeah,
thing.
please.
Again, I'll be happy when it's actually done, but for some of you may be familiar with Bob the Bighorn sculpture that's between the library and the city buildings. So Serena Sipley, the artist or sculptor, has created Larry the Lizard. And this was in partnership with Canyonlands Natural History Association as far back as 2023. And it looks like he will be deployed and placed in his new home, which is about a mile up the river road at that Colorado River Day Use site, just downstream of the Goose Island Campground in November. So,
Oh.
that's it.
Do they do like a ribbon cutting thing? Do they do that, or they just it's there? And
We're working on the date. for
Okay,
that. Yeah.
cool.
and we'll share
Just let us
this
know.
for you.
We'll share
Yeah,
it.
and then I mean, big picture vision hope is to connect that area to the paved pathway down below it, which obviously there's a great issue right now. But in time,
Awesome.
hopefully sooner than 20 years from now.
So I will throw one other thing to your the note, just, so Lily, continues to work on
Thanks, Lily.
collecting trail data or trail information to help adaptive users better understand the technicality of trails, what's right and not. It's a book called All. We did a training with the high efficiency trail assessment process weeks ago, and so she's starting to get out on priority trails to collect the information. And I think if anyone's interested in joining her or has any thoughts or wants to learn more, it's a lot easier with two people than one.
Yeah, bet.
You just reach out. It's just kind of a tedious process, but it's a good way to really learn the trail. See what's out there.
So are you riding trails when you're doing this? Or you?
No, it's like a single wheel with a handle and it has a bunch of sensors on it. So I'm walking all the trails.
Really?
So company is welcome.
Carries a little tablet and watches the cross slope of the trail width and then running slope.
Well, there's a lot of
It's a lot
questions.
of-
Lily, are you getting a lot of questions while you're out there? One person thought it was a unicycle. And then a couple people, I told them what I was doing and they were like, oh, thank you. And then. But most people are like, what is that? You can guess. Good job.
Also, the signage at the Corona Arch looks so good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, I hadn't been out there, and then I went out there with the group I was guiding, and I was like, wow, it's such a so just kudos to everybody involved with that.
Huge
Awesome.
partnership.
That's awesome. All right, Ryan, OG, one and only.
We're ending the season not how I was hoping. Everybody's furloughed except for me and recreation. We've got a handful of interns through CNHA that I am now supervising, so I have another rec group that are working for. They're very young. I'm too nervous they're even out there, so. But that's where we're at. So yeah, hopefully we'll see how much longer we're in this. trail crew is furloughed, obviously. We got 2 days on the exit trail. We're planning 2 weeks before the shutdown occurred. I'll blame Colin for that part. Jinxing us. So they did get some days in up there, and then shutdown happened. State crew stayed up there, I think, for an extra week. I haven't been able to find how much work they did, but they did stay up there for a little bit longer. We've had got a bunch of vandalism in the Abajos after the shutdown.
Really?
Tons, yeah. They're getting hit pretty hard. If people see stuff out there,
Like shooting signs? Like what kind?
spray painting everything and defecating on everything.
Yes, I'm here. And I'm gonna ask a favor, and I'm gonna be very stern. You guys can park back here. We have had seniors that are having to walk way longer than you are. You're here, so why not park there? Why park where the seniors park? Don't tell me you're a senior, I know, but that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Everyone park out in this area.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, vandalism. If you see it, let us know. There's a lot of messaging out there right now about public lands, which I think is great, letting people know that Moab's open. Just personally, I'd really appreciate if people also reminded folks that we're not out there, and we're seeing this kind of stuff happen, and people are going to start noticing it more. So it's great that we're encouraging people to come out still, but I think there needs to be a follow-up message that even more than normal, you need to be on investigation, because we're not there to pick up this stuff.
Yeah.
I really hope that we get that messaging out there for you, because I'm not seeing it right now. That's it.
Okay.
Lots of really positive stuff.
Yeah.
Continues, or we're gonna be able to get sleds up there? Eric's actually gonna be starting on the 18th, and I'll still be on, so yeah. We'll do that.
So it's green.
That's what I'm asking about. Yeah. Yeah, it's volunteers, so they don't get paid anything, so you're on.
The equipment will also come up.
Yeah.
You want to add anything about the LaSalle Loop Road
Oh,
stuff?
that was the other thing. That was the positive thing.
Hey.
There you go.
It's still on.
No more closures. Road's done.
It's beautiful.
They're working on signage and more kiosks and stuff up there. Yeah, it's great. So if you haven't seen it up there, it's really smooth right now.
We got.
Watch out for the driver fast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I by myself go, I have no pothole.
I got shuttled up there by a whole enchilada shuttle, and both the shuttle was super smooth. The ride down the trail, Forest Service trail down in there was it was running great. It was running great. I could not keep up with Colin, but it was running really good. So, it was amazing. Thank you, Brian. All right.
Yes, Brian, can I just ask in terms of your comment about volunteers? So you're still able to do volunteer agreements and volunteer projects? Because we're not, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, this is the strangest shutdown I've ever experienced. I think it's my third or fourth one. We usually have everybody leave, and our camp hosts who are volunteers are still in place for now. We can't do new ones, but they're still out there, and we still have CCYC working in the Wildwood right now. Usually we would tell everybody that we have to end our contracts and stuff, but still.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
He's rubbing it in. It sounds like.
No, that's not where it's.
Well, that's the thing you're seeing is like, usually there's some consistency, and even among forests, there's right now, some forests keep everybody on, some people let everybody go, and then between DOI and agriculture, it's really different too.
Thank you, Brian. NPS had no person they could send based off of what's happening here, so they hope to be back soon. But State Parks still here. Ben, right, Ben?
Yes.
Ben, thanks for being here. What do you have to tell us about State Parks?
So we had a warranty walk yesterday through all facilities. Had quite a bit of stuff.
It's like punch list stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's just like they were having issues with in the park. So I had like a 2-page list of stuff. So we got that all went through. They finished a road that went from our campground to our pump house or our water treatment plant. And so they also finished a section of UHP or Utah Highway Patrol. They did some grading over there, did some culverts to where it would put the water at their houses across the road into what we call Utah Raptor Lake. And then, so they just finished that, kind of looked like this morning, it works pretty good, but the lake's kind of like backed up where I don't know if it's gonna take too much more. Courthouse wash was also going this morning, had a ton of people coming in, wanting to cross the wash. I think some people actually made it across the wash at Willow Springs, I don't know how they did. And then we had quite a few bikers coming in, trying to go to Kwanzaa, if they're just holding bikes and cross the wash, or, you know, they're driving across it, but I wouldn't take my first crossing. Still outfitting the shop, still, you know, just lots of things going on, but still putting signage up. Just got 2 new signs up that we just got a couple days ago. So it's just a work in progress over there. Got quite a few angry people with this week, you know, it being rainy. I think they're at vacation and it's raining.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll be sure to change that for him. Fix that.
Yeah, we had a few of our rangers that got called communists because we closed that backcountry Willow Springs, right, you know, in the visitor center, holler for everybody. And so we're just real busy right now and we're full of campgrounds. That's all I've got.
I don't think you're a communist. I mean, I don't know your affiliation, but I'm just, thanks for all the hard work. It was actually, we drove, we had to go evac some guests in a trip that got flash flooded. So we drove down and saw all the RVs that were out there. There's a lot of campers out there right now. So it's great to have them there and not other places.
Yeah.
So great job. And while we're chatting state park, we're gonna have all trails folks here. And then maybe Cody too.
I have a report for Sands Flats.
Okay. Before we move to that, any updates on potential of the two of you are here? They were talking about the connection of getting a paved trail up to the state park. Any more discussion on that, or do we know anything?
It's still in kind of high level, but it's on the docket to happen.
Great. I mean, it's like one.
I don't have any real updates on it, but there is some, it's potential trying to figure out how to get under 191 but yeah, it's a pretty, it's gonna happen.
Awesome. That's great. Colin volunteered to shovel underneath the highway if you need him to. So he's here for you. Free labor.
It's not easy digging right now.
That's
coming in just as fast as you're shutting it.
county. Jacques is not able to be here. Anyone else from the county? Okay, Patrick.
Once on the city front, we did sign an agreement with Alta for wayfinding signage plans for the parkway. And so that's the first step to move this forward. It'll likely be phased, given the current budget, but that's in the works, and we should have something back from them in the next month or so that we can work off of. In the interim, we were looking at that Emma Boulevard crossing to keep people on the bike path and route them appropriately so that they're not coming down 191 on the left-hand side and south. In the most current direction I've been given is that we don't, the UDOT permitting process to put, even temporary signage there would be kind of a whole thing. So we're looking at potentially work with the arts department to paint some sidewalk panels, just to do some wayfinding. For now, that's temporary. They reroute them down Emma, and then once the full plan is out from outside, we'll be able to address that issue on a more permanent basis. So that happens.
Awesome. We at the very first, there was just some more. If you want to pass along, there was a lot more discussion about just safety on the pay trail section of the city, within the city. A lot about the e-motorcycles, e-motos, or e-bikes. Seniors saying that they won't walk on there because of them. And then, scooter one.
Yeah, all the electric stuff. Yeah, that continues to be an issue, and probably more so than it was when we first started this discussion a couple months ago. Being told by the police chief that they had a physical presence out there for a while before they came to, but it's probably phased back. So it might be worth revisiting, asking them if they would be. And if you guys know of any problem areas, I feel like I know where problem areas are. This is the keeper of the creek path, but if anybody has any suggestions or areas that they've seen issues at, let us know, because that's, we can be more strategic in where we ask certain kind of stations, so. But, yeah, it's, everybody seems to have one now.
Time of day.
Yeah,
I
the
definitely
school thing.
think that the school thing and the community thing.
I've seen a number of older, not elderly, but like adults riding pedal e-bikes that are like your standard RV type class 3 e-bike. One guy was like smoking a cigarette hauling up west the other day on the sidewalk when there's a bike path. I think there's just like a level of like full city education that needs to happen, like no e-bikes on sidewalks, like.
Yeah, and that'll be part of the Alpha plan, but if there's some temporary things we can do for now, but the enforcement piece is gonna be big. And I think that like, you know, when it's being talked about a lot, there's this push for enforcement and it kind of phases back. And so maybe looking at a more long-term plan for keeping eyes on it, but we can work with this meeting on that. But yeah, I've noticed it.
I have a question. Does like driver's ed in Moab, or like even within school systems with like PE, is there any sort of education when it comes to bicycling or e-bikes? I mean, this is such a prevalent part of our community that like, I know I learned like bike yielding right of ways when I was like 12 in Iowa, but like, this feels like a really pertinent piece of education to like partner with our school systems, both like elementary into middle school and then into driver's ed. That like, I'm not sure how driver's ed works here, but if we can like partner with our school systems and like get that education out as kids are like growing up with bicycles, then maybe that it would feel less like disjointed, right? Because like we're Trail Mix working with the city and the county and the police, whereas like we can just work with the school systems to like get to the root of the problem, which is a lot of our local kids. Yeah, that's just me like spitballing, and like I said, I'm
it's a
leaving
great
in 10
idea.
days, but like,
I think that's a really good idea, Joey. I do think that one of the biggest challenges is that it's evolving so quickly. And then also another complicating factor is that a lot of the misuse is starting a long time before 60. You know, and we just need a big information campaign, because it's, you know, those e-motos, you're not supposed to be driving those without a license. They're supposed to be registered. They should absolutely not be on the sidewalk. You know, even e-bikes, certain classes of e-bikes, if you're 14, you shouldn't be riding. Some classes, if you're 16, you shouldn't be riding without at all. You know, and so there's just so many, but I think I think it just has to be like this multi-front campaign. And I think driver's ed could be an opportunity for that too, but.
and it could be like a 5th grade thing, like, you know, how as we get older into elementary school, like maybe 4th and 5th graders get this education and then they get it again in middle school. And then they have like formal driver's education, but like we have the e-bikes being ridden to our elementary schools where like, you're so right, this is happening beforehand. So maybe also parents don't have the education either.
Absolutely, and I think what Pat said about signage on the parkway, but also maybe signage in schools, maybe. Because that's the biggest thing I think the police are running into is, you know, they started out their campaign with sort of the educational component or an educational focus, because they did have, parents were just not aware that they couldn't buy their kid a 2,000 watt e-moto when they're 13 years old, 12 years old. Yeah, it's,
Can I say one thing?
yeah.
Regarding classes, because I like to use the Parkway. I technically have a class 3 e-bike, but I keep it going at low speed. So maybe allowing them, but at a max speed so that they're used responsibly.
We talked about that a little bit, is just having a speed limit, and that's what's enforced, whether, rather than looking to see if the bus does a throttle or not.
I like that.
Yeah. And so that's big thing for now. And I think that, again, I think that's part of the signage plan, it's gonna be speed limits. But so I think it's comprehensive because it's the first round, within the budget, but it'll be, like I said, probably. But I mean, the city has an officer who's the bike, got a rising for Monty. And so he's done some bike education for our bikes. When they fit in this thing on the right hand side of the path going up the far end. And so he's got information, he's got pamphlets. So I know our PD has some of that already, but it could be a multi-agency effort to get to the schools and the issues that so responded with it.
We have a Joy Assembly. I mean, she's gonna have a little more time maybe. So Joy Assembly. Awesome. Thank you all.
Any bikes actually have speedometers. Any of these things?
They,
They do.
everyone I've been on or seen has had a speedometer. Yeah. All right. Search and rescue, Scott.
Well, about those federal people in the national parks, we're working in the national parks again. So our call volume will probably be up this year, which from last year, which is showing that right now. I just spent last week up in Jackson at a conference and talked a fair bit with Teton County Search and Rescue and how they work. They have a nonprofit that's, I think, it's like a very similar thing to what the Trail Ambassador program is and what Search and Rescue is. I'm curious to see if I can work some things to try to incorporate that, work together to get some messaging out. Let's see, Swiftwater rescues are up in the last week, with people driving across flooded areas. And we did do our first rescue at the park, in the state park, the Raptor Park the other day. And so that was educational. I talked a bit about that. I don't know, we're doing our thing.
Thanks for
We
saying
did,
that.
we were out at Outerbike.
Yeah.
It was great to, I think, kind of interface with people, and hopefully we'll get to do that again. We definitely are learning. It's a learning process about how to connect with people. I think a lot of people are just like, well, yeah, but why would I support this search and rescue? Because I support my one at home. And it's like, well, 95% of our calls are not from people in Grant County. So, you know, and yeah, and then we had the two like back-to-back whole enchiladas, and then the whole enchilada podcast came out. You know, haven't listened to that. I think it was brought up. Tell your friends, because I have some ideas on how to continue that. We need to make those numbers look good. So tell all your friends to listen to it so that there's a greater reach. And if we can show there's a great reach, then we can convince the people that dole out the money to find a way to continue that. So
Back and Beyond, right? That's called
Back from Beyond.
Oh, Back from Beyond. Back from Beyond podcast. Go and rate it and say nice things for that.
Maybe on the next OHVR, you can include all the great messaging at the end of each episode and request more funding for more episodes.
someone strategically snuck that messaging in there after receiving the most recent OHVR grant.
Well done.
Kai, do you want to say anything before you, Jeff?
Thanks, everybody. This is so awesome. Like, seriously, wonderful. And I love you all. I'm back in like an actual capacity next month. So
Nice to see you. Hope so too. Yes, you are.
I might have this guy in tow for a while. So
The rest of your life.
yeah. Well, for that.
Okay, would someone mind helping Kaya with the goodies?
Like, you want to write it, Joy? Write it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. Health department, I did not. So right here next to me, done.
Not too much. We're still working hard with the Trail Ambassador Working Group County. Feeling pretty positive about that now. A couple weeks ago, if you ask, maybe not the case, but yeah, Anna's
put in a ton of work. And yeah, they will live on. So we're feeling pretty confident. County's looking like they're gonna step up and, a little bit of money to carry on. CNHA, I think, is probably gonna throw some in. So, yeah, feeling positive.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your help with
Yeah,
that.
for sure. Oh, yeah. The health department would have found a way to keep them alive one way or another. So, other than that, I think the Report Boo app is still out there. So did I pass that information
You
along?
talked to us about it, but we didn't.
I did,
see it
okay.
yet.
I'll get Mariah maybe. She's written up some.
I'm too nervous.
instructions.
I'm too nervous to Google that.
But
so-
honestly, I know it's silly, right? Yeah, absolutely. And the more we get, the better, especially as, the best program kind of has to rely on their own funding now. Data like this will be important in securing those grades. So, I'll make sure to pass that along to you. So,
Okay.
I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Andrea was not here, but Sand Flats, you said you had a report on Sand Flats. Matt, there he is.
Switch hats.
You did switch hats.
So for Sand Flats, Andrew can't make it, so since I'm over here, I'm helping her out. But the visitation was good. This last 3 weeks, the campgrounds have been full, starting on Wednesday through Sunday. Chip seal, Andrea wants me to thank you for, we've been up there lately. All new pavement from the cemetery all the way up past the booth. It's been all paved and everything was needed. Filmmaking, Mark Finley's coming back to town this week. Gonna film a new film for Ancient Trees of the Colorado Plateau. So he's gonna be around shooting. Then Dark Skies, the state parks in Sand Flats are teaming up for another event in November. And then the big, cool event that happened up there was the very first time ever. I don't know who went to it. It was called Leave No Trace. It was a play up on Sand Flats. I went 2 nights in a row as an employee, and it was fantastic. It comes out again next year, you guys. I highly recommend it. It was a hiking play. You hiked to 6 different places up on the Slip Rock Trail, and they had live performances. It was pretty.
With light that lit up the zones, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was quite, it was really neat. So, so with Sand Flats, then on my side of Sand Flats, last Thursday I controlled Hell's Revenge. It was pretty quiet, mainly vendors. Law enforcement was up there, Cody and Lucas from the state, and actually had time to chat with them. The point bad thing was up on Hell's Revenge, somebody decided to make a bonfire out of the old. And I don't understand why, but when they left all the wood. So that was a move.
Are they gonna grade Upper Sand Flats? Cause it's in some of the worst condition I've ever experienced.
Sand Flats, although it's a primary road, I got roads that there's no roads.
I bet.
Thank you. I'm glad to know that my fees are going to use.
That's great.
County road, right? Does Sand Flats pay for county grading?
It's a
It's a county road.
Okay. Anything else for Sand Flats? Okay, thanks for changing hats. Literally, that was really good.
The play was 20 out of 10. If you guys have the chance, the KCMU did like a radio show of it, and I bet you can like look at their archives. It was so cute, y'all. Like, if I can't rave about it enough, it was so good.
Okay, my report. The writing and tell up to this point has been really amazing. This whole I think summer and fall has been amazing, and really glad to get this moisture. Just to encourage people. I really like the latest posts from Trail Mix that we've been putting out. They kind of show the best trails to the worst trails when it gets getting wet. I've been using that and passing it along to people that have been asking. And also just thank you all for being here. Even when the government is shut down, we're still making things happen. So thank you all. It's just really impressive what we can do as a community. Samantha?
Is Borough Pass open? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough that the rain held off to overnight this weekend and we were still able to run shuttles to LPS. From what I understand, they were great conditions. David and Dave were out there, so they can talk more about that. And we'll see what happens. It doesn't look like there's snow up there, but who knows? On Halloween, Moab Cyclery, Coyote Shuttles, Porcupine, and I have put together a locals Halloween ride that's at 12:30 in the afternoon. We're going to Cocopelli, assuming it's reachable. And to sign up, let myself know. And $15. All proceeds are going to search and rescue.
That's so cool. Are costumes encouraged?
Yes,
Okay, great.
they are.
It'll be fun. You should come do that. It sounds really fun. And that's cool that you're doing that for search and rescue. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, Kathy.
Yeah, my boyfriend just about ran down a biker. We were going to the grocery store at 6:30 in the morning, so it's dark. Just a word to the wise, you've got to be dressed for people seeing you. And this guy had all dark clothing, just a little bit of a reflector on the back of the heels of his shoes. But we didn't even see those until he, swerved around us and we could see him further up the way. But just a reminder that as it gets darker, you need to think about your clothes when you're riding with town.
Yeah, no, that's great. Great PSA.
I'd like to add to that. It would be kind of nice if city would enforce some lights on bikes, especially since we're a dark sky community and it is really dark in town. I've lived in Crested Butte a couple of summers, and if you're riding a bike in Crested Butte without a light, you get run down by not only locals, but by police.
Huh?
I don't know. I mean, I know city PD is slammed and all that, but or at least some educational campaign stuff would be awesome.
I've been in towns that the PD would hand out seat lights.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something to look at, is like a red or tail light, it's those little rubber ones. You get those for super cheap, When they usually would they'll see a kid riding or somebody riding up the street. And then they kind of spread the word that we can do that. Something would be awesome.
Maybe that's
Thank you, Kathy. It's really great. David, biking.
Yeah, it's been muddy in some trails and after out the Rock's been riding great from what I've been hearing. And I was out there after it. It's awesome. Did have one customer come in recently to say that the bar M signs are hard to follow. I haven't heard that much, but they were really upset about it.
So well.
Not the single track trails, but the bar M.
There's a little contact
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Why are they writing that? Out there, 6-1 sign. Yeah, like which way?
And then the route has been like updated too.
Yeah, we haven't updated the maps. And it's a private property owner.
I'm assuming he has more of that north end.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't have any solution.
That's good.
Definitely lots of more interest and confusion about the e-bike announcement. Tried to let people know it's March 1st.
Yeah.
Learn that from everything.
Okay. And we got, I guess, any of these folks, Tyson or any other people, if as it gets to them, like biking and hiking, etc., if there's things that we need to go out and watch or go out and look at, just let us know.
I do have another thing.
Yeah.
The access bridge to Pipe Dream at Dock Allen is out.
Yeah. Because they were doing.
Have they finished that? Do we know? Or is it still?
It
are they
was
still digging it out?
yesterday, this morning it was still just.
Do you know that, Cody? With that zone? Do you know about that?
City.
Oh, it's city.
Couldn't tell if it was removed or if it was flooded and then was removed.
They removed it, did a post, and I totally spaced reposting it.
I saw the post.
Yeah,
they're cleaning out underneath it.
Yeah, I didn't build in that whole retention pond. That's a retention pond there that
Is there some other access or no? It sounded like there was.
You can walk through there.
Probably right now.
Yeah. You no problem to walk a bike across that.
Okay.
Columns.
All right, we have Faith online. Faith, can you hear us and can you report to us? Faith? Faith. Okay, hopefully if she can join us, we'll have her. But okay, equestrians.
Vicki Smith again. I'm reporting out for Steven Schultz. I just want to put out a word there first off for you guys. If you have his email or if anyone has an opportunity maybe to throw a card together, his health is really bad. So he is really not doing well. We're hoping that he can come to one of the next meetings, but right now he's pretty much 100% dependent on oxygen. So he doesn't get around very often. So just want to make sure everybody, if you have an opportunity, send him an email, send him a card, you know, best wishes, and hopefully we can help him raise his spirits a little bit.
I'll put his email on our little recap when I send it out. I'll add his email.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, just for you guys, a couple things. So I wanted to report out. We did do that September 20th. We did a work day, and that was working in conjunction with Forest Service up at Medicine Lake. We put in a hitching post up there. Had about looks like six volunteers helped out. And then we worked on maintenance on the riding group has adopted Burl Friends as one of the riding trails. So 4 volunteers went and cleared some logs and did some brush abatement and worked on some water bars. I guess the water bars themselves were creating some erosion, just some significant erosion in a few spots. So they spent a pretty good amount of time that morning and then got run out by hail about 2 p.m. So anyway, a very successful day for some folks to get up on the mountain and help do some work out there. The group, overall, we've been talking about several different other projects. I don't have the titles on all those right now, but we'll keep you guys informed and have some more work days in the future. And then I was going to report out, I put on the Mojave Canyons Horse Endurance Ride. That was this past weekend. That ride's been going on since 2008. Not sure how many of you guys are aware of that, but it's up north, out on DeBinky Well, Bartlett, all that country up in there. I took that ride over in 21 from Sherry Griffith, and I've been putting it on ever since. And so we had, it was this past weekend, we had the biggest turnout we've had so far, which was pretty interesting. A lot of cancellations on endurance rides this year due to wildfire. So and a lot of folks were really interested in getting another one of their, because I don't know if you all know the whole endurance ride thing, but it is a national sport. People compete for regional champion, national champions, and it's all a point system, and it's all how many miles you ride and how fast you ride it and all of that kind of stuff. So there's a pretty competitive group of people that need to build points, and if their rides they were going to go to get canceled, then they're looking to try to get their points by the end of the year. So I did get a big push. We had 70 pre-registered, which is double my usual pre-registration. We ended up with over 80 people coming to the ride various times, not all 80 riding it all every time. So Ride Camp is out there by Jug Rock out on Spring Canyon Road, which thank you, Grand County, for Road Department for fixing that up. Last year, that was pretty sketch. It was pretty sketchy with those massive horse trailers coming out on the sides of the road were kicked out. This year was perfect. So just so you know, we appreciate that. The camp, as you imagine, after the Hurricane Priscilla pushed a huge amount of moisture, we had a lake. We all camped around the edge of the lake, and the ride continued. I had nobody drop out. We had no injuries, which is huge out there, and all that mud and all of that. Couple horses got little pulled tendons or something, but nothing major. huge success really in my book. I had to reroute people around Slick Rock areas because Slick Rock does get slick for horses when it gets wet. So we did last minute delays, we did reroutes, but we got everybody through it. They all went home yesterday and I'm like, that's why I look like I'm really, really tired. But anyway, it's a success. Now I just wanted to put on the books. We do have this permit. We have a 10-year permit now. We plan to continue to do that. And what we mostly use out there are the roads. We do use a few of the single track trails. We don't do the bike trails because they're just too whoop-de-doo. And these guys are trying to go fast. They want to go fast. So we mostly use all the roads. I'm working with the BLM to get a few more approvals on a few more roads because next year we're planning to put on 100 miles.
Wow.
So typically they're 25 and 50 mile routes, but we're looking at putting on 100-mile route, and that is a much bigger endeavor. The reason we're looking at doing the 100-mile next year is I've been approached by the American Arabian Horse Association to put on their national championship in 2028. And so that would draw another huge crowd of riders. And so we figured we'd better practice.
That's cool.
Years before we would put on a national championship. So, so anyway, that's the update I have there. If you guys have any questions, I do have a web page with a lot of information about what we do. You can just Google Moab Canyons Endurance. We did put on another ride down south in San Juan County as well, and we're working with Brian here on the potential to put a endurance ride mid-summer up on mountains here.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's great.
And just follow, I wanted to thank Factory working for that work they did. You're supposed to have Zach up there, but he threw his back out. It's Zach slipping around. That's what happened. He picked a pepper in his garden and threw his back out. Serious stuff. But we've also got questions about those hitching posts already. If you go up there, you'll see them. They have their traditional kind of like hitching posts, but they're a real high bar too. And so that's for a high line, like overnight up there.
The high tide horses.
Yeah. People are like, what is that thing? But they're out there. If you get people asking about where to go horse riding, it's a good place to get those places now.
And that is something I actually can't remember the name of the person who's been trying to get with me on all the, I map out all our 25 and 50 mile routes. And, well, we also have 10 and 15s because I do an intro ride every day, of either a 10 mile or a 15 mile loop. Then we do a 25 and then we do 50s, and the 50s are typically 2 25-mile loops. I have all of those mapped and I reroute them almost every year because we find something. This gets worse, this gets better. But as you guys know, it changes constantly out there. This year the footing was outstanding, other than the mud flat, which has never been a mud flat before. This year it was. So anyway, I am going to get with the folks that are trying to get all of our horse routes out there. At some point, we would love to have a couple of little equine, at least point people in the direction where these trails are. And like I said, they're mostly all 2-track roads. So it's all stuff that's already been heavily used. One other little note that I thought was pretty fun was it takes us a week to flag all of it. It's 150 miles for the trail. We do most of our flagging UTV or running. And but I stop and talk to every single person I can because I don't want them taking down my flagging, obviously. And we put up a lot of signage, and I found that the signage that says it's a horse event, we're not going, we flag everything, we do take it all down, please leave it in place. Since I've started doing that, we haven't lost a single bit of flagging.
That's great.
The last 2 years. But what I wanted to say was I talked to every camp, and they're all very excited about, we're sharing the trails. We have no issues. We really have no conflicts out there. And the only one I want to note is just the only thing that it scares a horse pretty good at are the motorbikes, the e-moto, because they're quiet and they're fast. So everything else is like we're working really well with because you can hear it coming. You can get off the trail. Those things are pretty scary for a horse. So I'm going to just put that out there as a note.
Awesome. Thank you, Mickey. So Faith, for some reason, she can hear us, but we can't hear her. So she just wrote, this is from Faith with Roped Activities. I'm here, but for some reason you can't hear me. Nothing major report since last meeting. I got married and hosted European Friends for 2 weeks and was super busy with work, so life has been a bit crazy. So congratulations, babe. There's a new guidebook out for Moab Crags by John Stern called The Little Book of Moab Area Rock Climbs. So something for us to check out. So thank you, Faith. I know Kai was just here, but okay, nothing to report.
What's your name?
Ellie Swan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie, for taking notes for her. It's great. Matt switched hats. I don't know if you saw that. His hats are switched, so now we're talking trail running. Why would anyone want to run 240 miles? Can we start with that? Is that a thing?
I was gonna leave that one last because it's still happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
real
but
fast.
there's already been winners, right? People have finished.
Yeah, people have finished.
That's
There's still
nuts.
147 up the hip, but I'm gonna get to that last. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
I want to, I'm gonna give you big time kudos. I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but the connection between long distance horse racing and ultra running is very well connected. And there's events called the Riding Ties.
Yes, we do.
But the very first part, I'm not wearing mine, but when you do a 100-mile endurance race, and now with mountain bike, 100-mile endurance race, you get a belt buckle, a huge belt buckle. That all started because of the horse racing. It's called the Western States 100. It still happens as a horse race, but also too, yeah, correct. And then also too, now it's a big event for ultra running to do the Western States, which is in California. So there's a good connection there. And so if you ever see anybody like me or another people or a mountain biker with a belt buckle, it all started because of horse race. So I just wanted to give you kudos for the connection there with ultra running and culture.
That's cool.
Next thing is, this whole committee, the runner, there's a new, fundraiser out there, Runners for Public Lands. It's a lot like NIBA, or Mountain Bike Association and stuff. So there's somebody on this committee that donated $100 based off the trail mix. And so I just want to let you know that it started up about a year ago, but they're making wave about keeping the trails safe for bikers and for runners and hikers and stuff. So just Runners for Public Lands, a new organization that started up. There's a podcast and videos if you want to Google that. Okay, now back to races. We're up to, out of 18 races for this year, we've done 13. We've had a total of 4,722 finishers so far. So we're on track to catch up with last year's record. We'll see if we can break. We have 5 more races left for the year. The John Wayne True Grit race that happened, there was 868 finishers. And that was mainly for cancer. It happened out it started at Red Cliffs area and ran through Onion Creek and stuff like that. The next race was Arches. They had 397 finishers at Arches Marathon, which is behind the rocks area. And then now what everybody wants to know is the Moab 240, which started on Friday afternoon at noon, and it's still happening right now. And as of 10 minutes ago, there's 147 people still on racing.
Whoa.
31 people have finished so far, and 72 people had DNF and everything. But big kudos, this is the first year we've not had one, but 2 locals running the race. One person has finished so far, Zach Johnson, who's a nurse at the hospital here. Zach finished yesterday in 9th place. Great job. And wow, he had definitely by far the biggest turnout of supporters at the finish line for him and everything. And then Josh Walker is still on the course. He's up by Haystack right now. And he has until tomorrow afternoon to finish. So, but the Moab 240, it's on its 9th running. But if you Google, everybody just does it. I'm amazed how this race has gotten a lot of news globally. And a lot of people are coming here trying to get into the race. They only allow 300 runners and stuff. But yeah, it's really becoming a big event, just for running community. So that's what happened.
Yeah. So you ran over 100 miles and got one of these belt buckles.
Yeah, I got one.
Whoa. My favorite comment, they were advertising it.
Carrie's done a few.
Carrie is, oh yeah, that's right. My favorite comment, which was the most upvoted, was just why question mark, right? And that was it's so impressive that people can do that. I have a DNF as well. I didn't start. I'm not going to do that. So that's so impressive. KB, skiing report? Question mark.
I mean, it's been patches of snow up there, but haven't heard of it.
Okay. All right. Emily, active transportation.
All I got is that the next and final TAC meeting with Alta and everybody together for the master plan draft is on the 23rd. I think it's 23rd.
Yeah, did they get that from out there? I know they said they were leaning towards that.
Yeah, so that will be big and maybe something will be coming from that to look at.
Yeah, 2:00. And it's like that. That's the I guess, what do you call it? The master plan? The master plan kind of decisions made? Meeting?
Maybe a more final draft will be here at that.
They're putting together the draft, final draft.
Anything else? Thank you for being our active transportation rep and looking for that. All right, at large folks. Dave's back. Dave, we missed you. We're glad you're back. You weren't voted off the island, so we're glad you're still here. What do you got for us, Dave?
Just doing some work with shuttles with Samantha and riding a lot more than I have in a while. And I've gotten to see, I was very glad to return from my summer vacation and not see the LaSalle's on fire. And I think we're very lucky that we made it to this point, because when I returned, I was really surprised the forest was even open. It was scary dry. And so, yeah, it was scary to see people up there recreating when it was that dry. But so I feel lucky that we made it that far. I don't really have like too much to add other than if you see stuff like with the trails, I know we've had a lot of flow down, and I've taken my chainsaw a couple times to do a little work on some of the Forest Service trails, clearing some trees. If you see stuff, maybe just kind of disseminate it out to us as trail mix, because there are some of us that do some clearing when we get the chance. People were stoked to be here until a few days ago, and maybe they'll be stoked to be here again now, hopefully. Nothing like I've had many interactions, and I've been forced myself to be neutral and not really saying anything to the e-bikers that we're seeing on the trails. The majority of them I'm catching up to them. So a lot of the reasons why they ride them, I don't know, they really don't seem to be there, but there haven't been any major negative things yet. My main concern is if we do see the increase in users, that all the people that were proponents of having e-bikes here, that's something that we need to consider in the future when it comes to our updates to trails. And when we just did a 10-year update on everything, and we shorten that window, and does that mean requesting more budgeting for that, or a bigger staff to take care of trails that are getting more users? And even if there's not more users, are those users doing more laps? Which is more users without adding more users.
Sure.
So that's just something I wanted to bring up now, because we may be seeing a change in our trail conditions sooner than we did with the last run. So yeah.
Okay. And these are all things I know that we've talked about before, and Tyson and I were talking about.
It's like we tried to plan for all this or something.
Yeah. So thank you.
Can I say one thing? There are a lot of really fast driving privateers headed up Geyser Pass Road. I drove down very slow because I'm expecting someone to.
They're real quick too. I see the pictures of them.
Yep. They made a racetrack.
I know.
But Dave, to your point about trails, please let us know when you work on trails too. Okay. It helps out a lot. When I have a trail crew, then we don't have to go deal with that one, deal with the other one.
And send a pin. I know that's just what Tyson will always tell me when I say, hey, trees down, just send a GPS and pin of where it is. And photo. Okay.
We know how big it is.
Thank you. Swiss Army. Tim.
Been raining, so. And on the Parkway a bunch, are you aware that 0.79 miles from the park down here at the end of the road, there's a big flooded area? The drainage and stuff must not be plugged in on the pathway.
Right below the river regulator.
Yeah.
Going up the river or up?
Well, as you head out the river, we rode it yesterday and we got out there and there was probably 120 feet that was 6 inches deep.
Right before the Goose Island.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite a mile.
It's not the last like 2 or 3 times. That's right.
And I'm assuming that's because something's
It's
going
a
down.
low spot.
Yeah, we talked,
There's no drainage.
Okay, yeah, that's the low spot, I know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, bring your fishing pole next time. That's awesome.
yeah, we were talked about that a little bit with Sean from maintenance as well, because the river's just filled with the flooding. He was maybe gonna talk to Tony Mancuso about it, and get into like different jurisdictions there, but yeah, like
There was some potential talk that in his time to dry out. Maybe as the river goes down and blankets and stuff starts getting maybe frost on it. There was some talk of trying to move a little bit of the drill. Of course, when the river comes back up, it's just it's so back. Yeah, I know exactly.
Thank you, Tim. Mark.
The Moab Hoedown is coming up October 23rd to the 26th. Get information at moabhoedown.com.
Mountain Bike Festival.
Mountain Bike Festival.
A rodeo event.
Promoted by the Moab Mountain Bike Association, which is local chapters. Sign-ups at Moab Cyclery for events, including maintenance clinics, Scoopy Cross, bike race, the ball fields, enduro race on Friday, mountain bike, movie night at Star Hall, Saturdays enduro race happening down in my house. Sunday, it's pancake breakfast and jump jam at the bike park.
Cool.
Mark has been at the jumps every day, crushing it. Yeah, the water's been great actually for the jump park. Makes it a lot easier to work on the jumps. And I've been working on getting the water flow managed and everything sloping from east to west. Which is great. The beginner and intermediate sites to capture water. Reservoirs jump now. Kids will be able to ride a lot sooner. That's great progress. And active transportation note, we're gonna have a bike stand shipped on the 24th. I just got an email yesterday, so hopefully not in November there'll be a bike workstation where tires transporting themselves.
That's awesome. Nothing else? That's awesome. Well, we're excited to see that event. Are you going to be flipping pancakes or doing flips?
Flipping pancakes.
Okay. All right. Colin.
Okay, I've got some city stuff. First of all, the city just signed a contract for its first several high visibility crosswalks to be done. So this will happen really soon. Williams Way and First West is on the list. The one by Mills is on the list. So there are about 6 crosswalks. So each crosswalk costs about $8,000 to do, high visibility and in thermal plastic, so that it holds up. And so it's going to be kind of a slow rollout because of cost. we are looking forward to the non-motorized travel management plan to help inform some of the highest priority crosswalks to address. But you will see those happening very soon. Everybody's, Carrie, is it something I said or? Everybody, and I mean everybody's favorite pilot project, the bump outs on Main Street. So you're gonna be sad to hear that they're coming out very soon. UDOT doesn't want the city to remove them because they're worried about the holes in their road, so they want to be the ones who patch the holes after they pull them out. So they're gonna do that. And then we're just gonna be looking at all the feedback and comments and making a plan forward for those. And then Cody say that Ellie and I had the pleasure of driving out to Mineral Bottom yesterday. There wasn't much drive, it was more sliding. But there is one really troublesome spot on the switchbacks, just below the first concrete spot. It's become this sheer drop off. You have to coming up and you have to hit it at quite a bit of speed. The bastards love that. Just to put it on one more thing on your radar, I'm sure everything is totally.
It's hard to fix it when it's muddy.
Totally. I mean, it was total chaos. There were cars and people everywhere on the side of the road. And yeah, it's just total junk shit.
Well, that's
Nothing you can do about that.
everybody's practicing driving that.
That's all right. Yeah. Very exciting. Then we do have a city council meeting tonight, so I will talk about the e-motos and also just the safety comments about the parkway. If there's anything else, let me know right now. I do know there's a lot of people showing up from the community. There's been a lot of hubbub from Keep organization Keep Quiet again, or Make Go Out Quiet. They're organizing folks to come out. So if vehicle noise is something that you're really passionate about, tonight would be a good time to come and fill the council chambers. Speaker. Yeah, anything else you want me to share for tonight? That's good.
While we're covering members at large, Brett, who has been a member at large, voted in within this last year, has had to be in Salt Lake, and probably will be in Salt Lake for the foreseeable future, for some things. And so if there's anyone that you know of or anyone that's interested in one of these at-large seats, please let us know, Samantha or myself or Kathy. And potentially he's more info to come, but he may not be able to make it to any meetings. And so he would like to give up that seat to someone else potentially. So if someone else is interested, please come see us about that. And then the last thing we have is the next work Wednesday, which yeah.
I have actually one other thing
Oh, yeah.
that I forgot to bring up, and Cody being here reminded me. He's identified there's a lot of stuff growing underneath the elevated pathway going up the river, and we were talking about doing potentially a volunteer day to get under there and cut out some of that stuff. I don't know when is a good time. Cody, do you have input on that?
I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about November 5th? Is that too long?
It definitely needs to be a winter project.
Is it gonna be icy under there?
I don't know. It depends on how our mild winter.
Yeah.
Could it be a workday Wednesday?
That's what I'm asking.
But that could be a good one.
November 5th is our next work Wednesday. And so we could do it in that area. And if it's too icy or dangerous there, we could walk over to that Robin Grubb Park and spend some time over there.
Well, there's also, there's just other, I think, like trimming that can happen. I can talk to Sean and.
Sean.
Okay, Sean and Nancy, maybe.
Yeah, if November would work. That might be a good call.
Okay.
Because I rode ophthalmology a lot of this past week, and there are some trees growing. Like it is actually something to be addressed.
Over the river.
Which
like
where?
out there, right?
Yeah, up the pathway.
Okay.
So we need to like do silent, and then block the pathway out. I think we probably do.
Okay.
Do we need to move it up?
That's a great question. We gotta look at it.
Maybe you have some ropes and some harnesses.
I think you can walk under them. I've never been under the bridge, so I don't know, but.
Do we need to change, move the time up to daylight?
Probably see how it's out.
Because it will be after time.
Yeah,
the time
for sure.
changes.
We'll send something out and then,
It would also really help Sean and maintenance. Maintenance does a ton of work maintaining the pathway. So it would be great to give them a little extra volunteer boost. So,
I think it's a great, do we remember when, I know we moved the time because of, obviously it gets darker. We moved to 3 o'clock? Is that what time we were doing the winter
yeah, it'll be
events?
dark by like-
The second. The second,
November. I think 3, so if we say 3 o'clock,
3:30.
so November 5th, 3-ish, 3:30, I don't know what it is. And we'll send information out. Tyson, you'll help us with that?
Yeah.
We'll get information. That'd be something we've never done. I mean, it'd be fun. I want to see Tyson swing around on a rope under a bridge.
Get Mandy on the road.
Yeah.
We'll send out something, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that'll be the potential November 5th. That'd be fun.
Town race series race tonight was canceled.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, I think that's everybody. Oh, and we're ahead of time. Okay, is there way to go, everybody? Anything else? Whoa, we're done early. High five the person next to you.
The next month's meeting.
Next month's meeting.
What did we decide?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Next month's meeting. So because the 4th is a holiday, we're gonna have it on the 5th. So it will be a Wednesday meeting.
No. That's the
Sorry.
wrong week.
Sorry. The 11th, sorry, the 11th. The 11th is the Veterans Day, so it's gonna be on the 12th, which is a Wednesday. Sorry. 12th. I'll send it out to everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.